With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 350 plus undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Hello, gay men, and welcome to another edition of Coming Inside Out. I'm your host, Mark Dembo, along with my co-host, Brian Janes.
Hey, Mark.
How are you today, Brian?
I'm doing good, thank you. Good to see you.
You as well. How are things in sunny California?
They're a little hazy today, which is so odd. The weather has been so odd in Southern California. We usually have like a heat wave during the summer, and it has been such mild weather here. It's kind of odd. It's not kind of odd. It's very odd. And today we have a really thick marine layer. So here we are in August. It would normally be, 100 degrees, and it's in the mid 80s. So
wow.
I'm not complaining. I'll take it.
Well, we've been having lots of heat waves. It's been like heat wave after heat wave. Seriously, here in the East Coast, it was up in, what was it today? It was in the 90s today. I just came back from a week in Montreal.
Yes.
And it was pretty hot there the whole time. It was, in fact, today, I know it was in the upper 90s there today, hotter than it is here in New York. So yeah, very, very, very hot weather. We'll talk more about Montreal.
Hot weather mixed with hot men.
Well, I was there visiting my boyfriend.
Okay.
And he lives in Montreal, and we had a wonderful, wonderful time together, and it was very exciting to be there. And it was also Montreal Pride.
Yes.
While we were there, and really, really, it felt, we've talked about this, right? In our process of coming out, to be in spaces that are so welcoming. And,
yes.
One of the impressions I have of Montreal as a city, very, very welcoming overall. And the Pride event was really great. I mean, we had a big tea dance at the Olympic Stadium, and I will say it was very hot. We got there on the early side. It started about 3:00. We got there early, and luckily we were able to find some seats in the shade.
Okay. It looked like a lot of people there too. The photos I saw.
It was a big dance party. It was a lot of fun. It was great, and just so wonderful again to be in that environment, and people of all ages, body types, and it was just everybody celebrating who they were.
Yes.
Went out in the gay village there, and same thing, just absolutely wonderful. And had a gathering of a number of other gay dads from Gay Fathers Worldwide, a number of folks who were there in Montreal, a few other people that came in from out of town. And
a buddy of mine from LA, one of the Gay Fathers of Los Angeles.
I know who too. I met when I was there, and I had no idea that he was there. I get to the restaurant, and he's like, Mark. I was like, whoa, I didn't know you were here.
Oh, what a small world. I thought maybe you had gotten together through the site. So you just stumbled into him at the restaurant.
Well, he was there. I mean, he had been invited, but I had no idea.
Okay.
Because one of the guy who one of the men who organized the dinner obviously had reached out to him, but I had no idea that he was there.
Okay.
So it was a wonderful surprise. I was thinking to myself, isn't this great? Like, just go to different cities, like just really seeing people and meeting people in different cities. So it was it was really, it was a wonderful week. It
Good.
really was. And, one of the things that really hit me, just thinking about how much life changes. And, 2 years ago, to be saying I was there with, somebody that I'm seeing, and having a wonderful time with him, and meeting up with other gay guys, and going to Pride, and just living life as who we are was really
Yes.
great. But I will say, um, one of the things that came up for me a lot is guilt.
Mm,
Even in the midst of the joy and the celebration, and um, a lot of guilt, and a lot of missing, kind of,
yes.
the thinking about, well, this is the first time in over 30 years that I was on a vacation by myself.
Yeah.
It was a little tough at times. And these feelings of, am I doing something wrong? And I want to, I bring this up, to share with you, and to share with our listeners too, because I think it's a common theme that a lot of us feel.
Yes.
Even as we're living our life, there's this sense of, wait a minute, something, feeling guilt. Of course, I keep reminding myself, no, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm living my life.
Yes.
And sometimes we don't allow ourselves to do that, or we feel that we're not entitled to do that.
Yes. Yes. I mean, I was reading the other day on our Facebook page, someone posting that they had just moved out. They were spending the first night in their apartment by themselves. You
Yes.
remember
Yeah.
that? I remember
Oh,
that.
yeah.
And just the deafening silence that comes
Mm-hmm.
along with it, and just
Yeah.
being in that space. I actually read something the other day. I wrote it down on our notes section also. And it's, when we go through so much to come out, we realize what is truly important to us, and we kind of have awakening, like we have this new perspective on life. And I read something the other day that went along with that, and it said, I have lived through my chaos, and now I am living in my peace. I think that's what we all want to be, because we've all come from this internal chaos. And
Yeah.
now we have this new perspective, and things that maybe at one point in time were important to us no longer are important to us. And what's truly important to us is having peace in our lives,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Even with, though, that seeking of peace, there's still chaos.
Yes. Well, it's different.
Right?
Well, you know what? It's a different perspective on your chaos. And some of it is less triggering than it once was, because you don't give it the same energy, because it doesn't mean as much to you as it does now, because you're in a new space. You are living in a space you
Yeah.
never thought you were going to live in. And that appreciation allows you to let go of so much, just like small shit
Yeah.
that really
Yeah.
never mattered, but we gave it attention.
Yeah. But I
Now,
think you also, but that kind of living in that space, at least I know for me, sometimes I have to constantly remind myself that,
all right.
that
Well, it's newer
that
to
it's
you.
okay.
Yes, and it's
That
newer
is
to you.
true.
It's
Yeah.
newer to you.
Yeah. 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 That is very
Well,
true.
so you overall you had a great time. Yes.
I did. It
All
was
right.
wonderful. Yes. It really was great. It was a wonderful time, and I'm excited to be back there, to go back. Wonderful city
Yes.
too. Yeah.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
and
So
I think there's so much more love in Canada right now for the LGBTQ community that we're not receiving
oh,
here in the United States. So it's
oh, we could talk about that for
Well,
sure.
yes, it's really hard just every day to wake up to this. I had shared with you that in the United States, just in 2025 alone, there have already been 598 bills put in front of Congress to eliminate and restrict LGBTQ rights. That's just
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
2025. In all of 2024, all what do they call, all bills that were put in front of Congress in all of 2024 were 533. And in 2025, just the LGBTQ ones are 598.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I mean, there's so much there's so much going on, and I think it is easy with so much being thrown at us. After a while, you become inoculated to it, right? Like there's just so much you start to tune it out, but to our own detriment. I mean,
Yes.
along the same lines, I just saw the other day. I don't know if you saw this. The Supreme Court has now formally been asked to overturn same-sex marriage.
Yes.
So the Supreme Court will decide if they're going to take that up. And given the current makeup of the Supreme Court, I won't be surprised that they do.
How this is mind-boggling that we're taking this big of a step
Yep.
in the wrong
Yep.
direction and backwards.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I am potentially going to wrinkle some feathers, and I'm going to blame it on me being naive. So anybody who wants to write in and set me straight,
Wrinkle
I'm
away,
happy to
baby.
do so. But I'm going to bring this up to you because when I was looking at the 21 states and the 67 laws, a lot of the states were passing the same laws, and that was that they were not going to let trans women participate in women's sports. A lot of the
Right.
states were saying, no, we're going to do away with that. And I know that Trump is also, for the Olympics coming up, is also pushing that. And I don't know. I guess I have a hard time understanding because I've done some reading on this. It feels like an unfair advantage for someone that was born a man that's transitioned to a woman to participate in women's sports. I feel like they have an unfair advantage. And maybe
Mm-hmm.
I'm being completely ignorant and I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But in my mind, I think track and field, a man runs faster than a woman. Men just are built different and are stronger. So I guess I don't understand the arguments for allowing trans women to participate in these sports. And
Mm-hmm.
maybe
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about
Mm-hmm.
something I should not be talking about, but I, I'm having a hard time understanding that. I even
Sure.
asked my
Yeah.
son about it because I
Yeah.
know that you're taking hormones and different things, but I just still feel that you have an unfair advantage
Well,
if
I
you were
think
born a man.
the biggest thing around that whole issue is that this is an example of the current administration and those that are taking up the cause, if you will, of going after the trans community.
Yes.
And if you look at, and I don't know the actual numbers, so I don't want to cite them, but I know that the actual numbers of cases where that's occurring is minuscule.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? So
Absolutely.
it's like it's like, why are you making an issue out of something there's no there to make an issue out of? It's to foment hatred
Yes.
towards the trans community. That is the bigger issue.
Yes,
Uh,
I
in my
agree.
mind. And this is and it now sets the stage. You start there, and now what's next? Oh, gay marriage. Another headline. Just saw this the other day, yesterday. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth
God.
shares video advocating for a ban on gay sex.
Yes.
Let's go back to the days of making gay sex
Yeah.
illegal.
Yes.
Yeah. Over the weekend, U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth reposted and endorsed a CNN interview with his church's pastor, Doug Wilson, in which Wilson advocated for a global Christian theocracy and the reinstatement of U.S. laws criminalizing homosexuality.
Yes. It's heartbreaking to me to hear this and read this and see this all the time. What comes as such a slap in the face to me is that not every time, but I'm going to say more times than not, when you find somebody that's been convicted or accused of some heinous act against children or being caught in some gay thing, a lot of times it's these religious people
Oh,
that
yeah.
are screaming that,
Yeah.
how
Right.
just sacrilegious it is for men to be having sex with men. And then you have all of these politicians the exact same way. And then it's like every week you're seeing some Republican person being accused of sex with an underage male or whatever. It just drives me crazy because it's these people that are screaming the loudest that typically are trying to drown out what's going on in their own fucking lives.
Well, it's that, I think, certainly in some, if not many cases, right? It's there's a defense mechanism there
Yeah.
for their own uh, orientation or identity, perhaps, um, and it's nothing but trying to exert pure power and punishing and doing away with those with whom you don't agree or who are not like you, who are not the same as you.
Okay, not everybody's the
That's
same, but I'm going to use myself as an example, and I think that this will probably ring true for you also. Didn't you find that when you were closeted, that you had more compassion for the LGBTQ plus community because you were secretly an ally with those people?
yes, absolutely.
Okay, this is the same thing with all of these religious people. In their mind, they want to be that person, but they can't. So why can't they show love toward the people that they are in fear of being like or with, rather than spewing hatred toward them? I never spewed hatred towards the gay community. Inside, I had nothing but love and compassion for them.
Sure, sure. If I knew the answer to
Yeah,
that,
you'd solve world peace.
yeah, exactly,
God.
exactly. Yeah,
I know
yeah,
it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And then I saw the other article that you had sent to me, 10 new attacks the Trump administration has made towards the LGBTQ plus community. And I thought, oh, it's all so sad that this
yeah,
is the direction we're headed in. It's like we need to be coming together. We need to be supporting
yeah,
one another. And it just feels like, I don't know another way to put it,
yeah,
but the Karens are just coming out of the woodwork and are
yeah.
trying to control everything because they're feeling so out of control themselves.
Well, and there's a lot of other things. I think the article that you were just referencing, this was, yeah, I think I'd shared a link in our notes from Uncloseted Media, which outlines days 101 to 200, every anti LGBTQ move the Trump administration has made. And a lot of these items are things that would slide under the radar. I mean, the big stuff like Hegseth is out there saying, the Supreme Court possibly taking up gay marriage. That stuff gets the headlines. But then when you look at some of the things they talk about here, it's things around research getting cut. The NIH, the National Institute of Health, cuts more than $800 million in research grants meant to study the health of LGBTQ people. The cuts
Yes.
abandon studies of cancers and viruses and set back efforts to defeat a resurgence of sexually transmitted infections, right? I mean, this is things directly affecting people's health.
Well, it's hurting their health. It's actually
Exactly.
hurting
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. The Department of Justice in May removes all references to gender or gender identity from at least 4 federal surveys. Also in May, the Supreme Court rules that Trump's ban on transgender troops serving the military can go into effect immediately. I mean, the list just goes on and on. NIH cuts funding for the Center for HIV AIDS vaccine development. Trump doesn't acknowledge Pride Month during June.
Yes.
I mean, so it's just all the removing the name Harvey Milk's name from
from the ship,
from the U.S. naval vessel. I mean, just all these things. Some of which are, I don't want to say small. They're all, but like that slide under the radar that really have an effect on people's lives.
Yes. In addition to wanting to change the name and do this and do that, I mean, he's not just attacking us because he's also trying to change the name of the Kennedy Center. So it's like he's everywhere, but it's all just this smokescreen distraction, I think, in the moment because of the Epstein files, which everybody knows he's everywhere in those files. Supposedly, I can't say that he is because I saw another podcast getting sued because they said something. So supposedly, I'll use that word out there that he's in there many times. It's sad. I just feel like hate, and I don't want to make this a hate episode, but the hate is just, I don't know, it's just everywhere right now. I was watching a reel, I think it was on Facebook, and this gentleman is walking through a doorway of a restaurant, and there's a server with a big tray, and the guy slaps the tray as the guy walks by, and all the food falls off the tray. And I was like, oh my God, that's terrible. I click under the comments because I want to see, a lot of times they identify the person. Oh, this person, so-and-so, whatever. So I click under it. It happened to be a black gentleman that slapped the tray. The things that people were saying, oh, it's always them, it's always this, it's always that. And I thought, oh my God, what the fuck? Anybody could have done that. It's always, there's so much hate out there for people right now. It's not just the LGBTQ community, it's the Hispanics, the blacks. It's like,
oh, absolutely. It's anybody that is, not white, male,
Christian. Yes. It's very sad.
And straight. Did I say straight?
Yes. Oh yeah.
White, straight, male, Christian.
Yes.
If you are not of that demographic, then you are to be dealt with in some way.
Yes. It breaks my heart. It absolutely breaks my heart. All right, so let's move forward with some happier stuff. What else do you have that you did your Pride Month, you're back home in New York. How's everything going? You're in your new space, you're living your life. I think I talked about this a little bit on our last episode, I think. But if I didn't, I'll say it again. Or if I did, I'll say it again too. I think one of the things I really have been trying to do, and I know I've talked about this, is being mindful, being in the moment and recognizing there is always going to be difficulty in our lives. There's always going to be challenges. Right now, I mean, just all the stuff we were talking about, it feels like, everything is dialed up so high, right? I talked about the guilt that I was feeling while I was in the midst of a wonderful time away. And, did that affect me? It sure did. But I work very hard, and I don't have this all figured out, perfected yet.
but to say, okay, when you're feeling those things, bring it back to where's the good in this moment
Yeah.
right now.
The
And there always
gratitude.
is. There
Yes.
always is. There's gratitude. What, I mean, it's so simple. What am I grateful for right now? It could be the little things. What am I grateful for? That you and I get to spend this time together.
Yes.
And, I'm grateful for that, um, we get to put this podcast out and hopefully help other people that
Yeah.
are on this path, right? There's always little things that we can say, what makes today good? And we keep living our lives, that it's a beautiful sunny day here. And,
Yes.
I can go out and took a little walk at lunchtime and was able to enjoy that.
Yeah. Every week, we get some really heartfelt, loving emails from people that have been listening to the show, or they stumbled across the show, they heard something in one of the episodes, and it feels so good that you and I are just having a conversation that we could be having on the telephone. And in
Yeah.
today's technology, we're having it over the
Right.
internet. And we're
Right.
able to share these things back and forth that resonate with other people that may be walking around with these thoughts in their head, thinking they're all alone, all by themselves. And it's
Yep.
just so great that we're able to, you and I can connect like this, but on such a large level with so many people
Yeah.
listening to the show. So,
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely. Yeah.
I
And what about
love
for
that.
you? What's some
Oh, my
what are you
goodness.
grateful for? What's some good things happening for you right now?
I have been doing a lot of reading. I've been doing a lot of journaling. I actually took a friend's advice, where I used to live, Meetup. There's an app. I don't know if you are familiar with Meetup, but Meetup,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
go to different events. I moved.
Yeah.
I'm closer to downtown LA. I thought, oh, let me go find a meetup. So I went LGBTQ meetups. I found a meditation in the park. I thought, okay, I'm going to go to this
Nice.
meditation in the park. So I did that on Saturday. It was free. You give a little donation. I guess I get what I pay for because I've done some phenomenal meditation groups. So this was, I think, something more introductory. I really didn't resonate with anybody there, so I didn't stick around afterwards. But it was me getting out, trying something new.
That's it. Yeah.
But in my reading, because I've told you that I have felt stuck and I'm trying to figure my way out of it. I've been thinking real estate's not really my passion and path, and I need to be doing something else. So I've kind of been looking for a job, and I was reading something and it said, the universe will put you in the same situation over and over until you learn to react differently and to think differently. Old habits do not open new doors. You must eliminate in order to evolve. I have taken that to heart, and I'm really, part of my move was eliminating old habits and patterns. I'm really trying to put myself, going to this meetup is eliminating old habits and patterns. So I'm really trying to do things differently for myself in
Yeah.
order to create something new for myself. I
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
shared last week that I didn't feel like I could heal any further than I had in a space that I moved into while I was
Yeah.
wounded.
Yeah.
So I left that space to create something, to provide an opening for new things in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And in Brian fashion, I think that these things are going to flood into my life. Like I was going to come out as gay, and I was going to be in this flow I was that I knew existed, but I was somehow kept out of because I was in the closet. And I came out as gay. I kind of rushed into it, and the flow wasn't there. So I don't know. I for me, what's going on is I'm just trying to be very mindful of what I do, to be grateful for the small things, the big things, and just trying something new, just trying to reinvent myself in my new space.
You know, and I think one of the key things here around reinvention, we think sometimes we're looking for that big thing. And all of a sudden, everything's going to be different.
Yes. Yes. That's what I thought.
Right?
That's what I thought.
But it's not. It's the
No.
little. I mean, look, the big thing is coming to grips with who you are, right?
Yes.
Coming out.
Yes.
But even that, it's a process.
Yes.
I remember when I first came out, I thought, oh, there's this huge weight now that's lifted.
Yes.
And I remember I was talking about this with my therapist one day, and he said, yep. And how long did that feeling last? Because then it's like you've got all this other weight now that's
yes.
comes back
Yes.
down on you, right? What do you do now with that? The guilt, the everything, right? But I think when we can find those small going to a meeting, maybe that was okay. So that wasn't the perfect group for you,
No.
but you went. And how do you feel taking that first step? Are you now like, okay, let me find something else? Or are you like, oh, I'll never do that again?
I think I have a harder time connecting with people because I want a deep emotional connection with people. And when people don't meet me on that same level, it's like I wanna be around people that are at the same vibration as I am, and not everybody that goes to a public event is going to be at the same vibration. So I don't know. Not that I'm a dick about it, but I think I'm a little closed off. I read something, don't go somewhere with your hands in your pockets because then you're unapproachable. So I make sure that my hands are out of my pocket because I think I make myself a little unapproachable because maybe that's my anxiety coming into play.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm much more open to trying new things and doing things, but I don't know. I think that's an old habit. The protecting Brian is an old habit that I need to let go of. I don't need to protect myself.
So let me ask you this though. Let me reframe the kind of the question here. You went to that one event. Could you what if you reframe that and say, okay, all right, again, that wasn't the event for me, but I went, I did it.
Yeah. Yes.
And you survived,
yes.
right? Because meeting that person or the people, and also like, well, what are you looking for? Are you looking for a romantic connection? Are you looking to make a circle of friends? And it could be either or both of those.
Yeah. Just
but sometimes if you
like-mindedness. But here's my positive takeaway from this. It was at a place called the Silver Lake Reservoir, which I'd never been to, and it's literally 12-minute drive from here. It is an amazing 2.5, 3 mile walk around this reservoir, and it's in an area that is an LGBTQ plus area. So many hot men running the reservoir without their shirts on. I actually, the next day I got on my bike and I rode my bike down there and just hung out in the park and just, whatever. But it's a new place. I took my dog Bear there the other day. We walked around after I'd been to the meditation. So it's a new place for me to go and hang out and feel like I'm part of the community.
Yeah, exactly.
And to be myself. So it's the positive takeaway is it introduced me to a new location where I can go hang out.
And the more, and I think the more you do things like that, it gets easier and easier. And then you start to meet some people and it feels more and more comfortable.
Yes.
Right.
I was thinking about this the other day while I was walking my dog, that when I came out, even though I had an element of spirituality to me before I came out, after I came out, I really leaned into not God, but the universe. I leaned into all of, spiritual prayers, for myself, affirmations, all these things to support me. And what I thought about is I have a friend that is Mormon or was Mormon and came out as gay. And the difference for us is when I came out, I was able to lean into spirituality to help me. When this gentleman came out as gay, he was rejected by his God. He was rejected by his community. He was rejected by his friends, his church, everything. And I thought, oh my God, that is me complaining about my coming out and my level of rejection. Well, I had something to lean into. When you are deeply into your church and you come out as gay and you are rejected by it, holy smokes, you have to find an entire new way
Yeah.
of finding support and something to lean into and something to hold you up, and just like praying and feeling held that you're going to be all right. He lost all of that. I didn't lose any of that when I
Yeah.
came out. I actually,
Yeah.
my spirituality became more enriched, where
Mm-hmm.
his is yanked away from him.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's not an uncommon theme, right? I mean, I think my experience in terms from a spiritual standpoint has been very similar. For many, many years, I've leaned much more into a spiritual approach to things as opposed to anything based around organized religion.
Me too.
Um, so I've been able to lean again into that, into meditation practice, into Buddhism, into I've talked a lot again about mindfulness and finding those things in the universe that I can attach myself to or feel
Yes.
connected to. So there was nothing for me to feel rejected from.
Yes.
And I know that that is I mean, I can't speak directly to it because it hasn't been my experience, but I've seen that. I know several men who've come out that were in the Mormon church. And I think in Mormonism, uh, in particular, it is very pronounced where you are absolutely rejected. And that can be very challenging. Other religions, again, it can be very challenging as well. But there's also a lot of, I think, from a religious standpoint, men who have come out, or even more broadly within the LGBTQ plus community, there are pockets where you can find that welcoming religious
Yes.
experience. I was just talking with somebody the other day who was talking about a Catholic church that is actually very welcoming and open to, this is in Montreal actually,
Okay.
to the LGBTQ plus community. He is a part, he sings there, he's a part of their choir, their music program, and it's a very welcoming and open community. There are those pockets that exist for people to be
Yes.
able to find what they're looking for, but you've got to sometimes go out and look for it and recognize that the old way may not be working anymore.
Yes. I told you, since I moved, I've been in my new space about a little over a month, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna try the dating apps again because they didn't work, and I tried them off and on for a couple of years, and then just completely gave up where I was living, and I thought, okay, meet up again. Something that I had tried when I was in Santa Clarita didn't work at all. I completely gave that up. I cycle and I belong to a cycling LGBTQ cycling group, but I have to
Mm-hmm.
drive like 40 minutes to meet up with them. They weren't where I was, so now they're closer to where I am. And I also just went online yesterday to sign up for the gay softball league in Los Angeles. So I'm gonna try and play
Mm-hmm.
softball.
Great.
I told
Yeah.
you a couple
Yeah.
months ago I saw that Hot Daddy pickleball, which I know they have it in Palm Springs. They have it in Florida, where you went. Where'd you stayed in that little town in Florida?
Wilton Manors.
Wilton
Wilton
Manors. They have
Manors.
Hot Daddy
Yeah.
pickleball group there too. So maybe I'll find a Hot Daddy pickleball group in Los Angeles.
Yeah. That'd be great. Yeah. What about I know here in New York I've gotten fairly active in a few LGBTQ professional networking groups.
Yes. I haven't found any of
There's a big
those. I
there's
really
well,
haven't.
and I don't know, well there's a large group called Out Professionals, and I don't know if they have a chapter in LA, but I know they're very active in New York.
Okay.
In fact, I've met a number of people there that have, I've, not only business contacts, but just formed friendships. And it's interesting because I found that going to those kinds of networking events, it's a much more comfortable atmosphere just to
Yes.
network and talk. And it's meant to be business and professional related. But it's just that everybody's starting from a common ground, and it's
Yes, it's
just
disarming.
welcoming. And yeah. And then, it's like after you go, like the first one I went to, it's like, oh, I didn't know anybody. Went again, met a few people at the first one, went again, seeing some of the same people. Now I go, I'm always going to run into people that I know that I've met from just being there.
Okay.
And it just is really a very I've found it a great way to meet people and make connections and feel a part of the community.
Well, that's a good thing. We should ask our listeners to email us at cominginsideout@gmail.com and let us know what networking groups may be in their area that we can put out there for other people. For
And
me,
what else are people doing? I'd love to hear,
yes,
like, what else are people doing to build their network, their community?
yes,
How do
outside
you
of Meetup, yes,
yeah, outside of the dating apps too,
yes.
right?
And
How
when
do you
you
build that community?
you did your drawing where you
Mhm.
went, was that through a meetup or that was through
It was a
something?
meetup group.
Oh, it was a
Meetup.
meetup group.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's good
Yep.
to know.
Yeah.
So, change only comes through movement, everybody. So if you're looking to change, you have to be moving. Change does not come from a stagnant mind.
And it doesn't have to be big movements. It's
No.
small steps. It's one thing. It's one small thing. Taking that one thing, saying, I'm going to go to this event. I'm going to go check it out.
Yeah.
Right? I always say, and I always ask, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? And usually what we
Yes.
conjure up in our mind is possibly the worst thing is not going to happen.
Yes.
Or even if say, if it did happen, would that be so bad?
Yeah.
Right?
Do I have bail
You
money?
go to an event. Right. I mean, if you go to an event, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? It's going to suck.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
So you leave.
Yes. Yes. I agree. I totally agree. I am getting out of my way more and more every day to make room for newness and goodness and just aliveness to come into my life. So
awesome.
Yes.
Great. So so we're working on some guests that I think we'll be having on fairly soon. So we're real excited about that. I know we've been talking about that for a while, but I think we'll have some exciting guests coming up in the not too distant future. So and thanks for so many of our listeners that have suggested topics.
Yes.
And I think some exciting stuff will be coming.
All right, I'm going to bring something up because I'm a little on the prude side. One of our listeners wrote in and they wanted to come on our show and talk about something, and you and I kind of looked into it, but I really didn't look into it that much. And you and I talked on the phone last week, and it was, I forget what it was, but basically it's almost like a sex intimacy coach. And you go into you have a therapist and then you have an intimacy coach at the same time, but your intimacy coach in therapy is hands-on.
Yeah. Well,
these are all things that I'm learning. Like when I went to a bar a couple weeks ago and the saline was, these are all things I'm learning. And I thought, okay, so this potentially is
so you got your saline. So you have your saline drip going there now, Brian?
Got my saline drip going. It's going right now. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, next time you got to model it for us, okay? We got to see that.
Exactly. Oh my God. Well, so yes, we've talked about having guests on, but we're actually working, and we have a couple people lined up that you and I are going to be talking to in the next week to get this stuff out there. So yeah, if anybody has a topic or they want to send us an email, this episode is going to drop pretty quickly. We'll be able to get those emails and quite possibly have those questions for the next person we have on the show.
Yeah.
All right. Great. So write in cominginsideout@gmail.com.
All right.
All right.
Well, hey, as always, great to catch up.
Yes. Much love to you, Mark. I love doing this with you, and I love the people that we're reaching. the community that we're building. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
All
I'll
right.
talk to you soon. All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.